we focus on helping you claim what's rightfully yours, your health, and your freedom. We explore the three main areas of health: the physical realm, the biochemical realm, and the mental and emotional realm. We also explore all the areas of lifestyle we can find that will help you live more abundantly, regardless of where you're starting. And remember, in life, you'll either make excuses or create results. You choose. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, and I'm glad to be with you here today. Make sure to head on down to the show notes and click on the link to join our tribe of human-powered life heroes, where we'll update you on new shows, events, product launches, and so much more. Now, it's time to enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Human Powered Life Podcast. We have an amazing guest today. This is Gil Blander. If you have not heard of him yet, you're going to be searching the sky and learning a whole ton today. So stay tuned. Welcome to the show, Gil Blander.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to discuss human performance with you.
I love it. I'm very excited. So let's bring people back in time. Let's bring them through your journey of what you got to where you are today. You know, we're going to dive into the company in a minute, but I think this is going to be where the power starts, where people are going to be so intrigued. So tell us a little bit about you and your past.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Israeli in background. You can hear it from my accent for sure. And from a very young age, I was fascinated by the aging process. I wanted to live forever. I wanted to delay the onset of aging-related diseases. And that's why I decided to study biology. I done my PhD at the Weizmann Institute of Science, and then moved to MIT and done my postdoctoral fellowship in one of the leading labs in the world that studied aging, the lab of Lenny Guarente. To anyone that know, he is the one that found the SIR2 or SIRT1, the SIR2 pathway, everything related to resveratrol and NAD analogs and all of that. That's the beginning, that's the genesis of that. So I spent 5 years there studying aging. And then at that time I was exposed to the area around MIT called Kendall Square. And there are hundreds, if not thousands of companies, biotech, high-tech, pharmaceutical. And that's actually exposed me to a lot of very interesting things that are done in the industry. Because at that time I thought I will be professor in the academia and basically live my life in the academia. But being exposed to this environment showed me that actually you can do a lot of cool stuff in the industry. And that's why I decided to leave the academia. I worked in a couple of companies in the Kendall Square area. And then I decided to start my own company, Insert Tracker. And the idea is to help humans to live longer, better life based on what's happening inside the body. So we started by looking at the blood biomarkers. Later on, we added DNA, and recently we added also data from an activity tracker or fitness tracker. And all of that give you a picture of what's happening inside your body. And based on that, we are trying to give you an actionable recommendation: what food to eat, what supplement to take, what lifestyle changes to do, and what exercise to do or do less in order to optimize your performance.
And how cool is that you can use technology? I know this wasn't an overnight process. I'm sure you had hundreds or thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of, with other people with like mind going, okay, how do we make all of this connect and all of this work? And I can't even imagine the amount of research papers and journals and things you had to go through just to say, here, eat more beef or eat more grapes. How did you find that? What made you go in and how did you have the energy to go through so much?
Yeah, I think that one point is that there is a lot of information in the literature, in the peer-reviewed literature, that is not exposed to, let's say, the average person. Scientists can read it, but even a scientist like me can read it, but our brain doesn't work like we read it and then we remember all of it. So basically we remember, let's say, the last 10, the last 100, maybe if you are very talented, maybe the last 500 papers that you read. But it's very hard to remember all of that. So we said, let's build an expert system. Let's build a database that will have all the papers that are relevant for a specific biomarker, whether they can help you to optimize it using food, supplement, exercise, and lifestyle changes, whether they can give you a hint about what is the optimal range for each person. And then based on that database, build an expert system that look into that, look via all those papers or all of those rules, and also include into that your demographic information, your age, your gender, your ethnicity, your athletic activity, your food preferences, your goals. Mix all of it together and spit out the 10 best recommendations for you, and then you can follow it and hopefully you'll live a longer, better life. So the idea is very simple. Let's expose all the wealth of data that is in the academia, but also distill it in a way to the data that is relevant for you. Don't bother me with the data that is not relevant for me. Give me only what is really personalized for me.
So it's not a one size fits all for everybody, which is exactly great. So here's the question. So you wanted to live forever in this beginning of this journey. So where are you now? Like, how have you optimized? I mean, I can imagine what you've done, because you have to be your own test dummy, don't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I like to. Actually, I can tell you that this morning and the morning before, a phlebotomist, basically a technician, came to my house to take blood because I'm testing. And my son is in college, so he came from the spring vacation. And he told me, why do you do it every day? It's wake me up. Do it. You shouldn't do blood tests every day. I said, I'm sorry, that's my job. So yeah, I'm testing a lot. Our team testing a lot, and I think that it's show you that everyone have a way to make himself better. So nobody is optimal. Even if you look at the best professional athletes, they have a lot of work to do. And what I'm saying, that there is not a silver bullet. So everyone have a work to do. And if you work hard, you have a better chance to get into your potential. So I'm not promising you, and the company, InstaTracker, is not promising you that everyone will live to 150 or 120 or 100. What we are promising you that we can take you as far as possible for your potential. If you have been born with the good cards, you have a better chance to live longer. If you have been born with the bad cards, you might live shorter, but still will bring you to your potential. So everyone can work harder and live longer than what you will live if you won't work harder. That's basically the mantra that I have.
Yeah, no, that's really neat. So, when I was looking at the website, the InsideTracker website, and going through, I mean, I took the quiz. I think that's just, a neat thing. I submitted that today, and I was looking at the different tests, like the blood test, the DNA test, these other tests that you can do. And I'm in New York, and I saw, okay, you can have a phlebotomist come to your house or your place of work, whatever it is, and do the blood draw. So I guess the question I have is this for a certain age group? Would you recommend starting, or could you start at any age? And then the second question is, how frequent, if I pick that ultimate test, which seemed to be like the biggest, broadest test, how frequent should I say I'm going to do this test to get some information, some work, and know where I need to pivot in my health?
Yeah, so let's start by age. I would say that it's good for everyone, because if you start earlier, you will have a better chance to prevent the damages that you will have in early age if you haven't started it. Again, we are not offering it for anyone below 18 because of regulations, so 18 and above. So that's about the age. Another point about the age is that the majority of our users are above the age of 35. And the reason for that is people below 35, let's say, they still feel like they are Superman. And they feel like every morning that they wake up, it was the best sleep of their life. And every day before they go to sleep, it was the best day of their life. And as you know, when we're getting older, you're starting to say, oh, I have like a backache or tummy ache or other problems that people start to accumulate. So definitely, I would say that people in the relatively older age will see more benefit from that in the short term. But in the long term, if you think about your long-term benefit, very similarly to 401k, a lot of young people are not saving for 401k. They say, oh, it's 40 years from now. Why should I bother? but it's exactly the same as that. If you want butter now, you will start having some clogging of your arteries. You will start to have some issue with your beta cells that produce the insulin. So as early that you start, you have a better head start to save enough for your retirement, either with 401k or with Insta Tracker that allow you to enjoy the retirement time. And as you said, you are ultra marathoner, run
Yeah.
more ultra marathon when you are 80s. Why not?
Yeah.
Instead of lying on the bed, we're connected with a lot of tubes.
Yeah.
So that's about the age.
Okay.
Now, you asked me about the frequency. So I'm trying to test every quarter or so, so every 3 months. I think that you can get the benefit even if you're doing it every year. So you don't have to test every quarter. It depends how optimized you want to be. Someone that is really want to optimize and live forever, or someone that want to, I don't know, win the Western 100 in ultra marathon, yeah, do it every quarter. If you don't want like that and you just want to be okay, 100% is not your goal. Being in the 80 to 90% optimized is good for you. Every year is good enough. You don't even need to do, you mentioned the ultimate test, which is pretty costly. You don't have to do that. We have a way for you to upload your result from your primary care physician. You won't have all the biomarkers, but it's better than nothing. So you can upload your result, and every year after you go to your primary care physician, upload the result, receive the recommendation, and you will be better than other. So it's all depends on your appetite and your basically pocket, or how deep is your pocket and how deep is your wallet. If it's very deep and you are very engaged, do it every quarter with 4 ultimate a year. If you are not, you can do 1 ultimate a year or use the data from a physician, and you won't get the full value, but you will get like 80% of the value, and I think that that's good enough.
That's great. I mean, that's great that there's more than one way to play.
Yeah.
I think that's very useful, especially, as a practicing chiropractor, you mentioned something earlier, like about waiting till your arteries are clogged or waiting for that problem to show up. We have a saying in our practice. We say people are either crisis motivated or lifestyle motivated.
Yeah.
And crisis motivated is like that person waits for their heart attack and it's like, all right, I'm going to eat healthy from now on. Yeah. You don't have to be that person. I don't recommend anybody ever being that person. I know it does happen because we all think like we said, we all think we're immortal at certain ages and we could eat anything and do anything and disregard this amazing body that we have. But you can also start at a young age and go, you know what? If I want to be healthy at 70 or 80, I want to run that ultra marathon, or I want to, be able to walk with my great grandkids at 105 years old. Like, what am I going to do now? Like, what can I give up? What's worth giving up to gain, and what's worthy of gaining, so you don't have to worry about giving up things. So yeah, it's very powerful.
And Josh, I call it a bit differently. I call it a proactive versus reactive. So you can be proactive and say, okay, I'm still in my 20s, but my goal is to live to 100. So start then. Or you can be reactive, as you said, and when your a father or a relative will have a cardiovascular event, then you say, oh, it might be me, and then I will start it. I think that's better to start it in a proactive way than in a reactive way, for sure, if you can.
Yeah. And I noticed also, just to kind of shift gears for a second, how you're finding all this stuff. You have a database now of a lot of people that are actually using the application. So does that help also drive the way recommendations show up based on the database growth?
Yeah, definitely. And actually very relevant for your hobby of running. We are now working on publishing a peer-reviewed paper about runners. So we selected a group of 15,000 runners, okay, from ultra marathoners like you to people that are basically, let's say, to the couch potato. And you have it from someone that do 5K, 10K, half a marathon, and ultra marathon. And then we looked at all the 43 blood biomarkers in Ultimate. And then you can see a dose-related response of what happened with metabolic-related markers, such as cholesterol and glucose and LDL and triglyceride and inflammation. What happened with other markers. And we see a very nice picture that basically you run more, your level of those metabolic related markers is better. Okay, so if you are ultramarathoner on average, you have a better metabolic related marker than someone that is not ultramarathoner. But now the question is, what can we do if you are a normal person that is not running at all? Should you run an ultramarathon, which is very hard? I don't know a lot of ultramarathoners.
Yeah.
Or is it enough to run only 5K? Or is it the 10K what is important? And I think that having such an information, that's what we are trying to do, is come and say, yeah, not a lot of people are like Josh that can run a ultra marathon. So let's give you an option. Say you will get 80% of what Josh is getting by just running a 5K, I don't know, every week or something like that. So I think that that's an example of what can we do with our database. It's so rich that we can basically give you a lot of value from it.
I think that's a really cool study, and so you're doing that those huge biomarkers on 15,000 people.
Yeah,
that's tremendous. That's well, coming from a runner, I think that's really cool. So I get to see ultimately, I'm sure I'm going to have to see this paper at some point, and when it's done, and go, okay, I need to fine tune myself because I want that max benefit. I don't want to be the ultra marathoner that's broken down at 55 or 60 at all. Because if I need to take breaks for time to train differently, I would do that as well. So what's coming up in the future for yourself and Inside Tracker? I mean, this research thing sounds absolutely amazing. What else is going on? What else can we look forward to share with our audience with Inside Tracker?
Yeah, we're working. We have a lot that we're working on. I can give you a few examples because I think that there is so much still to do, especially in the nutrition side. If you think about it, we have around 8,000 different food items that are available for us. And if you look at the average American on an average week or an average day, we maybe consume 20 out of the 8,000. So we have a universe like that, and we are maybe using something like that.
Yeah.
So first, we need to educate you about them and explain to you what is good for what. And second, we need to fit for you the right one and come and say, hey, maybe we know, Josh, that maybe you don't like avocado, but avocado is good for you. Or we know, Gil, that you don't like beans, but beans are good for you. Or we know that you never ate, a gooseberry, but gooseberry are really good for you. So what we are doing right now, we are working on something that I call internally. We don't have a name for that. We call it the nutrition solution. And the idea is to take what we are doing today for InstaTracker, and let me maybe explain to you what we are doing. So you start with InstaTracker, you buy your plan, you go to the lab, you get tested, you receive the result, and then we explain to you what are the issues, and then we are giving you an action plan. Okay, and the action plan can be, Josh, you need to run less, I assume, because you are ultra-marathon, so maybe you are over-exercised. I don't know, I'm just saying. You need to eat this food, you need to take or stop taking. A lot of people are taking too many supplements. You need to do those lifestyle changes. Maybe you need to sleep more, maybe you do whatever you need to do. Mm-hmm. You receive this recommendation. The idea is to take it from there and start building you a menu. Can be a daily menu, a weekly menu that basically help you to arrange your day or week. And then this menu will be updated all the time because we are integrating a lot of technologies, like use your smartphone camera to scan your food. Now we realize that there are technologies that are good enough to do that. So you can scan it, and then and so you can scan, I don't know, you get to your kitchen and you scan, let's say, apple, and we'll tell you, okay, Josh, continue to scan. And you scan the banana, and then you scan, I don't know, the cereal, and then we're telling you, okay, Josh, for you, because you have low vitamin B12, maybe actually cereal is better because it's fortified with B12. So give you an option of on time what to eat because you want some suggestion. You get into a restaurant, let's say that you bump into Starbucks. So we know that you are in Starbucks, and we tell you, Josh, based on all of your biomarkers and physiomarkers and DNA, this is the best dish for you. This is the second best, and this is the third best. And then you
Cool.
can come say, oh, okay, I chose the second because the second is also what I like. So then we know that, then we'll arrange your menu again.
Hey, we're giving you a short break here where you can head down to the show notes or lifestylelocker.com and join our tribe of human-powered life heroes. You'll be the first to know about new shows, events, product launches, affiliate specials, and more. And now, back to the show.
So having, or you get into the airport, and a lot of us are traveling, and usually in the airport, the food is horrible. So we can come and tell you, don't forget, if you walk 50 more yards, you have this restaurant, and this restaurant, this is the dish for you, and that will be the best thing that you can do in the airport.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, or you get into your favorite supermarket, and we know that you're there, and say, hey, don't forget, Josh, tomorrow you need to make this dish. So those are the ingredients for this recipe. So the idea is to be, I call it we call it a guardian angel for health, or someone that every time that you get into a fork, giving you some options, and hopefully you will select the best option. If you selected the second best, or if you selected, say, okay, I don't care, today is a cheat day, I will eat whatever I want, it's okay. We know that. Then we'll fix the next day in order to compensate for what you've done in the last day. So that's one project that we are actively working on, and I hope to have something out of that by the end of this year.
I mean, that's absolutely tremendous. You know, being that the company's is very data driven already, that this is like the next level of almost being, like you said, guardian angel. It's almost like being a mom going, apple's better. Eat the apple, like tapping on that shoulder. And what I think you're doing ultimately helps change behavior. So that person that's using that maybe for their first 3 or 4 months may now go somewhere and they don't even have to think. They're going to know choice one. And they're like, oh, exactly. Got it. Like they're like, that is huge for longevity, for health, for choices. Because ultimately, you know, with lifestyle, as you know, it takes 90 days to dial that in, sometimes up to 120 days to really make it a habit, like a lifestyle habit that you're not going to usually get rid of. And to have someone hold your hand through it, and you can do it, like you said, with a device that we never have more than 3 feet from us at any given time, is amazing.
Yeah. So exactly, the idea is to help you to make the right decision. And we know that we are not a mice in the lab, that we are 100% control. So it's very hard to control our feeding 100%. And in my opinion, it's okay to have a cheat day in a week and have a cheat maybe meal in a day, but try to do well in most of the time, because you need to also enjoy the life. You cannot be like a nun all the time. You need to also enjoy the life, so that's okay.
Yeah. We always talk about, you know, in our practice and the people we work with, you know, it's either an 80-20 or 90-10. If you can stick to that, you're gonna do really, really well. When you start to flip those numbers upside down is when you're going to go down the rabbit hole in the wrong direction. And then you're going to go for that crisis or that reactive situation like we spoke about earlier. So Gil, I have one other question. What is the best place for people to either connect with you or connect with Inside Tracker?
Yeah, so the best to connect with Inside Tracker is to go to the website, insidetracker.com. We also have Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and so on. With me is the same. Go to InstaTracker or connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. I'm all over there as well. And I would love to talk with anyone that is interested.
This has been great, Gil. This has been like a ton of information, and I'm very excited. Initially when I saw this, but now I get to meet the guy that is the brains behind the idea to make something I just think it's just so amazing that, you know, you're creating like that digital health coach type of thing with this, and it's absolutely great. I think you're going to transform lots of lives. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Human Powered Life podcast. Make sure to head over to lifestyledoctor.com to check out all the details on the show and to watch part 2 of this episode, which is only in video format. We also have this audio portion in video format if you want. Once again, I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, for the Human Powered Life podcast, and I'm looking forward to staying connected with you as a Human Powered Life hero. Remember to join the tribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.